The question before the House today is how to respond to one of the most abhorrent uses of chemical weapons in a century, slaughtering innocent men, women and children in Syria. It is not about taking sides in the Syrian conflict. It is not about invading. It is not about regime change or even working more closely with the opposition. It is about the large-scale use of chemical weapons and our response to a war crime, nothing else. In reaching our conclusions, let me set out what the House has in front of it today. We have a summary of the government's legal position, making explicit that military action would have a clear legal basis in a moment. We have the key independent judgments of the Joint Intelligence Committee, making clear their view of what happened and who is responsible. And we have a motion from the government that sets out a very careful path of steps that need to be taken before Britain could participate in any direct military action. These include the weapons inspectors reporting, further action at the United Nations, and another vote in this House of Commons. And the motion also makes clear that even if all these steps are taken, anything we do would have to be legal, proportionate, and specifically focused on deterring and preventing further use of chemical weapons. I am, of course, deeply mindful of the lessons of previous conflicts. I'm going to make some progress and then I will take a huge number of interventions. I am deeply mindful of the lessons of previous conflicts, and in particular the deep concerns in the country caused by what went wrong with the Iraq conflict in 2003. But this is not like Iraq. What we are seeing in Syria is fundamentally different. We are not invading a country. We're not searching for chemical or biological weapons. The case for ultimately, and I say ultimately because there'd have to be another vote in this House, the case for ultimately supporting action is not based on a specific piece or pieces of intelligence. The fact the Syrian government has and has used chemical weapons is beyond doubt. The fact that the most recent attack took place is not seriously doubted. The Syrian government has said it took place. Even the Iranian president said that it took place. And the evidence that the Syrian regime has used these weapons in the early hours of the 21st of August is right in front of our eyes. We have multiple eyewitness accounts of chemical-filled rockets being used against opposition-controlled areas. We have thousands of social media reports and at least 95 different videos, horrific videos, documenting the evidence. But the differences with 2003 and the situation with Iraq go wider. Then Europe was divided over what should be done. Now Europe is united in the view that we should not let this chemical weapons use stand. Then NATO was divided. Today NATO has made a very clear statement that those who are responsible should be held accountable. Back in 2003, the Arab League was opposed to action. Now they are calling for it. They've issued a statement holding the Syrian regime fully responsible and asking the international community to overcome internal disagreements and to take action against those who committed this crime.